Welcome to the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show, live on WBON-TV Channel 9 and on Sports Radio 103.5, V99.3, and Y92.5. Support your favorite local teams and enjoy the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop's Small Engine Repair, Nuevo by Arta, and the Law Office of Patrick O'Neill. Now let's go live to your host, Michael Watkins, Samantha Burford, and Garrett Stearns.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins, Samantha Burford, Garrett Stearns here with you on another Monday night. So glad to be with you. Summer is winding down. After this week, we'll be in the month of August. I mean, it's flown by. It really
I know.
has.
I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it feels like we say it every week. But
Yeah.
it's coming up really quick.
It does go by fast. And to think that we have interviewed not all, some of our favorite football players.
Yeah.
And we do it every summer, and we love it. And we're to the end of that. And now we get the best.
We got the main guy on.
We got the
head man of the
main guy
EKU football
here.
program, Walt.
The
I appreciate that.
And they all said a few great words about you.
They did. We did. We asked
really
them.
did.
Yeah.
We asked
They got some good stories. Yeah.
Well, they're still waiting. They know RevShare is coming up, so they're trying to
On their best
They're trying
behavior.
to pat me on the back a little bit.
Well, let's get to that. So this is ending our football summer series with you guys officially reporting to camp tomorrow and then practice on Wednesday, right?
Correct.
So give us a breakdown of what the last couple of months have been like for you. I know the last few weeks you haven't been able to be kind of hands-on or however long that period is.
Well, we did all of our OTA stuff in June. So in the past, we've done them in July because that's how the rule was when you first come out. When we first came out of COVID, that is, and they gave us OTAs. So then after that, we got into July doing those, and then June this year because I felt like at times you don't ever feel like there's a break.
Yeah.
Like you go straight from spring because we do spring so late to get good weather. That you run into your May 2 weeks off, and then boom, you're right back here doing stuff. You're doing stuff on your own. The coaches are around then, and then in July, we've already been working for 2 weeks normally, and doing some things in OTA. So I felt like we needed to get a break, get them away from football a little bit, even though they're still doing player-led practices and all that good stuff. And we could go watch those. We just couldn't be involved in those. And then finish out lifting, finish out running, getting ready. They gave them the weekend off and today off, so they're all kind of coming back in town that are
Rejuvenated, right?
Yeah, and hopefully they went home, got some things done because they won't see their parents again, and except for on game days or whatever. It depends on where they're at. If they live here in town or if they're near here, they can go see them. But just everybody needs a break, and gave the coaches a break, and now we came back today. We had a big long staff meeting, and then we finished out getting things done and getting everything ready to go for practice on Wednesday. But tomorrow we'll do all the meetings and all the NCAA stuff you got to do and vector training and all the stuff. And it's all good stuff, but it just drains you. And then going out, and we used to do it and then go out and practice.
Okay.
And that was the most miserable practice you could ever have because you sit all these
Long
kids in
days.
there anticipating the first day of practice, and they got to listen to everybody talk for hours and then go out and try to practice. It's just miserable. So they gave us a report day to do all this stuff on years ago, which was good. And then we'll have our big cookout tomorrow night at Lake Reba. We get catfish and jambalaya and all that stuff and grease them up real good. And then, then come get it back out of them the next day.
I guess we weren't invited.
Not
always
This
invited.
is the year
Always
we
invited.
weren't invited.
Well, I don't know what that smell you got coming on. What was that perfume you said it was? What was it called?
It's Cartier.
O.J. Simpson or something?
He's picking on me so bad. Like
you missed.
I got here.
You missed last week, so he's making up for
That's
it.
Yeah.
true.
I gotta
That
get
is
a few
true.
jabs
And it
in.
is kind of cool that we're all here.
I know.
I mean, we
It's
got to
great.
all be here for you, Coach.
Well, I appreciate that.
But now you were just talking about the player-led practices. I don't know if you've been watching the shows. We did get to hear about some of those.
Okay.
I'm sure you get to hear about them too. Do you get to hear the rumor mills and how it's going?
I went and watched. I mean, I can
Okay.
watch. So, I was in town, so it just worked out
You got
that
to
way.
go.
Was it hard for you to
Not speak.
Okay.
No, because I want to see them run
Yeah.
the show, and I
Yeah.
want to see who's going to step up and be leaders, and who's going to step up and do the things. Sure, they're doing some things wrong at times, but nothing that's critical that's going to cost us a ball game or anything. And it's the chance for them. There were 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 of them.
Okay.
So there's a chance for them to develop their leadership skills, show what they do know, show what they don't know to each other, and then talk it out and figure it out. And, it was interesting, to see them run practice, basically how we run practices. I mean, they did a great job. They did a phenomenal job. We had a competition period one day, and they went over to the hills and ran the hills. And, the winner makes the loser run the hills. And, heck, they gripe and complain more when we're there than when we're not there. And they just went over and did it, this time. Of course, it wasn't a 2.5-hour practice at 3 o'clock either. But,
right.
It is what it is when they do that. So it's good to see all that. So that's the only reason I go down there is just to see how they interact with each other. And
did they surprise you? Anybody?
A lot of them surprised me at how organized they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Great.
And a couple of them learned, okay, all right, it's not as easy as it looks. You just, telling somebody to do something and then getting them to do it is hard.
Yes.
The way you want it done is hard to do, and you have to decide what's most important. Is that important, or is it just the finished product important? Some guys are detail oriented, some guys aren't. Some guys, some guys allow things to happen, some guys don't. Like they go shirts and skins. And so you'll be surprised how many guys get embarrassed to take their shirt off. And I'm like, what the heck are we talking about? I'd want my shirt off in anger, I mean, nobody else would want it off, but I mean, it is what it is.
Well, I think they'd want it on so they could wipe the sweat off, maybe.
Well, they had towels and all that.
Yeah.
Well,
so.
true.
The wristbands and everything.
Yeah, I'd rather have it on.
But it's just, to see,
gear.
hey, man, but it's all because you don't have jerseys on, so it's all to know who's on defense, who's on offense,
Right.
and going about it that way. And so, it's interesting to watch all that stuff because you forget they're still 18 to 22-year-olds.
Yeah,
True. Well, Michael, I think one of the things that's been so great about this series is we get to meet the different personalities of the players on the team.
There's been a few of them.
Yeah, there's been some fun ones. But I think something that's been constant throughout that we've heard from all of them is how confident everybody feels about whether it's knowing the playbook or we had the special teams last week. They felt very confident about the punting operation. Is there anything you've changed this offseason, Coach, that's maybe led to that increased confidence? Or
Well, I think we all, obviously after last season, weren't happy. And so we all tighten the screws a little bit and make sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be doing it. I think every coach went back and looked at how he's teaching. Is it effective? Is it getting across? Is it getting there? Is there a different way that we can teach and have them learn? Some guys learn visually, some guys learn by doing, and some guys learn by both. And in reality, most learn by both. So we had extra walkthroughs. We've done different things like that to help them learn what to do. I think, our connection piece, we started in February instead of waiting until the whole team got here. Last year was a different year because you had the transfer portal in the spring. So you're a little, you're talking to a lot of coaches across the country. People were discouraged to do connection pieces during the spring because that guy could go in the portal.
you didn't know.
Let's be honest. He could be gone. And so you're sitting there trying to worry about your team for the fall, and that's all you as a coach have gotten adapted to that because for me, it was a change. I'm used to having a guy for 4 or 5 years when I coached the offensive line everywhere and, developing them, getting them going, and then, have a year to screw things up. And then the next year they're better, and the next year they might have been an All-American. And so those are the things that you got to change and sudden change and move and do all those things. So now that they took that away, we knew we had our team. Even though we did add some pieces at the end, and then some freshmen came in, we only added some pieces because we lost a guy.
Yeah.
Due to injury. So I think all that had a play in how everything went. And I think so we started in February with our connections and our brotherhood pieces and the things like that we do to try to build a bond and be better about that. I thought me and leadership starts with me and it goes throughout. And we didn't do a great job last year of preaching that. We took advantage of the seniors we had. We had 28 seniors. And so we felt like they would do it. And, I think a lot of them got caught up in some other things. And we had to strap it on a little bit this year.
Well, I feel like the chemistry among the guys has been, and maybe we didn't notice it, but I do feel like compared to some of the guys we did talk to last year, there's more of a bond, and you could tell that they're doing things off the field more and hanging out. I think for us, we got to interview our first married And you got two
Yeah, we
guys
got
that are
two
married.
Two guys
yeah, so
married.
both of them here on the same time. So it was cool seeing just the different personalities
same
and things.
position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know, and one's a senior and one's a true junior or true sophomore.
that's a big
So
difference too.
It's interesting.
Yeah,
you
but that
know.
shows you the kind of, I think, the maturity level of guys like that
Right.
to be able to go through that process. And
Well, I think that's the thing. I mean, bottom line, football's hard. I mean, when you go to training camp, I mean, it's miserable. And not like it used to be because you don't have to do as much, but we do as much. All right? We like every time, every coach finds a way to do something. Okay? So those guys will come over on Wednesday and get there about 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, and they won't leave until 9:30 at night. Now, they'll have some time to have some rest in between.
Yeah.
But when I say, but they got to remember, all right, I got to get to this meeting. I got to get to this. I got to get to that. I got to get to this. You know, like we do a walkthrough in the morning, and then later on that afternoon, we come back at 3 o'clock and do our practice. You know, then we come back that night and we watch everything.
it's a full day.
And
yeah.
then we'll have another walkthrough at night to make sure that we got the corrections from practice corrected. And then prepare for the next walkthrough the next morning to install for the practice that afternoon. So those guys are full time at it, and you're out in that heat, and you're out, you know, and you're sweating.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're 325, 330 pounds, you know, every trip outside is a new set of clothes you got to figure out. Well, I mean, we got managers and stuff, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
A lot of planning for the day,
it's
right?
mentally a grind,
Yeah.
and it's still physically a grind too. You know, we've got we got 63 GPS units we put on them to figure out their heart rate, their speed, their practice load, how hard they're going, how far they travel. You know, me and our strength staff will keep a great eye on that, along with our training staff, to make sure we're not overworking them, to try to keep their hamstrings intact and try to keep their shoulders and their knees and everything. You know, we've got new cold tubs that we're plunging into. We've got 3 new tubs sitting in central storage, waiting for the approval for the outlets to put them in, and we've been waiting for a while. So hopefully that'll get approved, and we can get those put in so they can use those whirlpools. We just redid our training room a little bit, thanks to Ted Green, a former player on the 67 team, and so there's some things that we do to try to you know, get them going, but it's just hard on your body. And then this year we got an extra week. We got 3 weeks of camp because of how school starts, how the calendar falls. Nothing to do with what the school did, but I mean how the calendar falls and school starts. We get 3 weeks of training camp, which we're really extremely excited about. So the first week of school, because we're playing week 0, is the first game week.
Yeah.
Well, talk about the schedule real quick before we go to our first commercial break. And, you know, I know in years past you've had the FBS schools first, and I know last year with Western and Marshall, I believe, were the first 2 games. So it's a little bit different this year. Talk about that. And was that something that you had planned for, just trying to mix the schedule up some?
I wish. Now, we did have an FBS team cancel on us. I think it was Ole Miss maybe. Canceled on us, and we couldn't rework a date.
Okay.
So we lost them. They paid us the fee to get out of it, but it's not a lot. And so we ended up picking up probably Western Carolina. I can't even remember. You know, the athletic department, they run everything through me. They call me and talk to me and all that, but they do it all. You know, I believe in scheduling FCS teams or FBS teams, and we're not going to play Division II or NAIA schools. That's nothing against those schools. They're great schools and got great players. But it's, you know, for us, if we're going to play in the playoffs, you know, you've got to win the conference championship. And if you don't win the conference championship and you still want to get in the playoffs like we did 2 years ago, then you got to play teams, you know, that count, that the committee considers count. And so you got to play, you know, FCS schools. So we're playing probably anywhere. I know 4 are currently ranked, and I think by the time we get there to playing them, you know, 6 of them will be ranked this year, FCS teams. And then our one FBS game is Jacksonville State.
It's an old name.
Yeah, I mean, and you know that's a great game around here. Typically, we go down to their place, obviously, because they're FBS now, and they played in a bowl game last year. I think they won their bowl game. They came in second in Conference USA, won Conference USA the year before. So you know, tough team.
Yeah.
We've played them. I think 21 and 22 were the 2 years we played them since I've been here. We split with them, so you know we got our work cut out for us. And then, we go to Tennessee Tech, who's an old foe that everybody knows about, but they were ranked last year. They won the OVC, and now they're in the SoCon. We open up at Western Carolina, who will be a preseason ranked, probably possible team.
And Austin Peay, I think, may be the highest ranked team you've got.
Austin Peay. I'd probably say Tarleton's the highest.
That's true, Tarleton,
because they came out first, and Abilene came out second, and then Austin Peay came out third in preseason. So I'd say that's how it goes.
Okay.
But they're all preseason ranked, and so you get, it's great. We got Dayton coming in here, who's a really good Pioneer League team. I think they're picked in one poll to win it and one poll to come in fourth. So, somewhere in the middle is probably where they'll be. So they'll be a tough team. They got an All-American wide receiver. We've been studying him already, and so Chattanooga will come in here ready to go. They play in the SoCon, and they've done well in the SoCon. So it's going to be week in and week out. You got to have a tough game, and that makes it interesting for the players, makes it interesting for the coaches. It does make it a grind mentally. And physically, because you're fighting through 12 straight weeks, and we'll have our not straight. We'll have our open week, the last week of September.
Okay.
Yep, before we play North Alabama here at home. The one thing about our schedule is we're kind of front-loaded on our home games. Once we get past homecoming, we got one game. And so that's the month of November. We'll be pretty much out on the road. And, and that's fine, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You can make a big deal about it. It is a big deal. There are things you got to do, but you still got to line up and play ball.
I think when you talked about it, not playing any like Division II schools or anything, a good loss to an FBS school is better than a win over a Division II school. You think is that kind of
when I think anytime you get a win, it's a good win.
That's true. Yeah. But to the committee.
Now that's the only reason we do that.
Yes, is
the committee. Looks at those and doesn't. I mean, they automatically say, like, if we played 2 Division II or any NAIA schools, they would say, all right, and we had a 12-game schedule, so you're only playing 10 games that we're going to judge you by.
Yeah.
So it
kind of hurts you in the long run.
It is what it is. I mean, you don't. To me, you limit your chances.
Yeah.
So and pretty much you got to win. You got to win 8 games. If you don't win your conference, you have to win 8 games to probably get into the playoffs, because it's that competitive. And so that's in 22 when we went to the playoffs, we won the conference.
Yeah.
And we only won 7, and then in 24 when
2 years after
we won 8.
Yep.
And so we got in as an at-large bid.
That was the Villanova year.
That was the Villanova year. So
still haven't gotten over that one.
No,
none of us
me neither.
have.
Somebody showed it to me the other day, and I was,
I don't think
I
it
wanna
was
see it.
not very happy.
Does Jennifer do that whenever you make her mad? She just pulls it out and says, "Well, what about? Do you remember this?"
She even is still mad about that one. She was there sitting through that cold.
Yeah.
Oh, it
And the
was
officials.
brutal.
Let's keep it
Do we
rolling.
wanna go to-
Let's keep it
you wanna
rolling.
keep going?
We'll get him out of here at 6:30.
So let's talk about, you guys just went to your conference in Arlington,
Right.
Texas, and had all that
Media
good
days.
information for Media Day. Exactly. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And some good news that we heard.
What'd we hear?
Well, I mean, you've got
the
your
defensive player.
defensive player of the
I was
year.
like,
I was like, hang on a second, what happened
You're-
there?
I'm excited about
No,
that.
no,
And then
you should be.
you got ranked 4th. I mean, I think it's all great news.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, I take preseason with a grain of salt. It's for you guys. It's for the fans. It's for the parents. I think the players understand it pretty much. It's great to be preseason everything, but then in the end, you want to be postseason everything.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we don't want to be postseason 4th. We want to be postseason 1st. That's our goal every year. But however they rank us, that is, I vote in that too. So I'm not particularly I'm not going to vote us number 1. And so we automatically get points against us. But Caden deserves every bit of it. He had a fantastic year last year. Great player from Campbellsville. Great human. And just really coming into his own probably halfway through last season. Started playing really well. I was talking to the staff today about his journey. He came here to our camp. And we knew about him. Coach Richmond did a great job. He was a tailback, and his brother was a tailback. And I remember everybody was talking about his brother, who is also on our team.
So you got 2 pairs of brothers,
You got both
right?
of them.
Yeah.
And so everybody was talking about his brother. Well, I mean, nothing against his brother. I mean, I love him, and obviously he's on our team. But Caden came, and he's bigger. He's just as fast. And I'm sitting there like, hang on a second. why ain't anybody talking about this kid, you know? And Andy's like, I don't know. I don't either. So let's offer him. Because he ran over 20-something on our GPS units. He ran a 4.5. He was 205 pounds at that time. I think he's 230 now. We were bringing him in as an outside linebacker, and then we started getting thin at inside linebacker, and he'd gained, to 215 maybe, and we were kind of like, hey, let's move him inside. Jake Johnson came to my office and said, hey, I'm thinking about, what do you think about this? I'm like, I think that's a great idea. Let's do it. And the first year, which was his true freshman year, he had to feel, you got to learn how to play.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to practice. Yeah, how they practice at Taylor County is not like how we practice. And that's nothing against Taylor County. Anywhere you go.
It's different everywhere.
It's just different. And so he got all that figured out. And then the next year, now he's, I think he'll have a humongous year as long as he stays healthy and, plays within the framework of what he's supposed to do. And he'll be the first one to tell you it all starts with the guys up front. They've got to do their job to keep him clean so he can get to where he needs to get to. But he can run. He's gained 30 pounds or 25 pounds, and he hasn't lost his speed one bit. So, matter of fact, he's increased it a little bit. So,
well, that's big time.
He's going to be he's going to be a load to deal with. I hope.
And more credit, he got the Buchanan watch list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting, too.
And he got, I think there's something else coming out soon. Well, I was probably not supposed to say that, right? Never mind.
Just stay tuned because more good news.
Yeah, there you go.
More
yeah,
good
that's
news.
it.
Well, we had a good time interviewing him.
We did,
He's a great
He's a really good
athlete.
he's been raised right.
Yeah.
And he's a really good human. We spent the weekend with him. We went and ate some barbecue and some Mexican or Tex-Mex, I think.
There you go.
Right. And they didn't have much for him to do during the day. So
you went to Six Flags.
They did. I sent them over to Six Flags.
Okay.
I didn't go.
You didn't go. You're like, I'm not doing that.
No, I had meetings to go to. I had to go do that. And I'd rather go to meetings than go to Six Flags. It was 107 degrees, I think. So
in Texas,
I had no desire to be there at Six Flags unless they dome it.
Did they ride the rides?
He did it all, from my understanding.
Okay.
Well, Buzz Flabiano went down there, and Buzz is from 25 miles from there. So he grew up going to Six Flags. He grew up going to all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So we had a personal tour guide. And then his parents came over and were at the event. And Scooter Acel actually came over, a former player, back when I was working for Coach Kidd. Him and his brother came over, so we saw them. And so it's a great event they have. It's just in Texas. It's just a haul to get there and a haul to get back.
But it's nice he was a red shirt senior, right?
Who?
Buzz.
Buzz is, yes, correct.
Yeah, so he's a senior.
So he's a senior, so he went, and, we was the only kicker, only special teams guy there.
I know the guys last week were talking good about him and just their process of doing it.
Yeah, he's good. He had a good year, solid year last year. We probably, I don't want to say win the Austin Peay game because of him, but he put it to where we could stay in it and then come do what we did in the second half against them. So, Buzz is going to have a better year this year, I feel like, and he's more comfortable with the whole operation of everything. Right. Jack Burford's finest, Quade Luganbill, will be snapping to him, and so we're excited about that operation. And then Jetson's never punted in a game, but. I think he's 26 years old or 24 years old or something like that.
He's got some maturity to him, too.
He's done some things. So he's played some Australian rules football and all that good stuff. So he'll be fine. He's got to get the kinks out a little bit in the first game, and we got to fight through it. And that's what we're going to have to do with everybody. We're very I don't want to say young, but we're very inexperienced at EKU. And so they got to learn us. We got to learn them. Everything's positive right now. We have not had one bit of adversity, and it's coming. Yeah. It's coming.
Yeah. Nobody can go through a full
You're not going to
season
avoid
with
it.
that.
You're not going to avoid it. You got to look it in the eye and meet it on the track and knock it out of the way, and that's what you got to do. Whether it's it's like I told them. It doesn't matter who, what, when, where. Back when I had my deal, it kept going.
Yeah.
The train's got to keep going. The season's not going to fold because you're not here. So you got to figure it out and get it done. And I think our culture's built that way. And I think that's, that year that talked positively about our culture. And I think what we have right now, I do feel like we have some good people in our program.
Yeah, I think so too.
We'll see. Like I said, nothing exposes you like good old adversity, and that's why I'm excited about the heat. I hope the heat stays here.
Oh, it's heat.
And that's why we're practicing at 3:00 because we need to go out there and they need to be miserable. And we need to see if they're going to work or if they're going to screw around. And I've told them all. It is what it is. It's what you chose to be here. You chose to play here. The expectations that come with that, just like me coaching here, the expectations that come with that don't change.
Yeah. A couple more questions, Garrett, you got?
Yeah, well, Coach, when you're looking at practice starting this week, is there a specific position group more than others maybe that you're looking at to see some improvement right from the get-go?
Well, everybody's going to talk about the quarterback.
Sure.
So I'm just anxious to see them, with a rush and with everything coming at them. But really the two groups that I think we have talent, but we have to grow up and learn and develop some toughness is our wide receiver room and our defensive back room. I think those two, coming out of spring were the two, I don't want to say iffy spots, but were the two spots that you were like, all right, there's a hole there, there's a hole there. And if we don't fix these holes, they're going to hurt us somewhere. And so some of it is just time. They got to grow up. They needed this summer. They've done a good job this summer, both groups. So I'm excited about that part of it. But, nothing's like being out on Roy Kidd Stadium or wherever you're at, and you're lining up one-on-one, and you either got to beat the guy and go get the ball, or you got to beat the guy and keep the ball from getting to him. And so we'll have a lot of exposure in that. So I really like our O-line and D-line rooms if we can stay healthy. I think both of them rooms are going to be much improved from last year, and I thought our D-line was really good last year, but I think we can be better. But we've got to stay healthy, and we've got to fight through adversity, and we got to understand to play within the scheme and finish blocks. We got to, last year I don't think we had an edge, and we got to have an edge. We got to play defense with an edge. We got to play special teams with an edge, and we got to play up front and out on the perimeter with an edge. And our running backs are going to bring that edge. I know that. If you ask me, all right, who you going to throw out there first? I'm going to throw that running back room out there first, and probably that inside linebacker room right with them. And because I think both of them can be very, very, very talented, and I think they got toughness, and I think they've got competitiveness. So I'm excited about that.
Maybe that's the new slogan on the T-shirts instead of all in. It should be you got to get the edge.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to find our edgers. We're trying to find our edgers, and I'll be talking about that on Wednesday, and when we have our team meeting. And I'm not looking for cheap. I'm not looking for dirty, but I'm looking for finishers and on offense and hitters on defense.
All right. Before we let you go, with camp starting on Wednesday, what do you do the first week or two, and then when do you start preparing for game one? Like, how does that first month or that month look like?
That last week before our mock scrimmage, we'll probably the last 3 days, the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before the mock scrimmage on that Saturday, we'll start work on Western Carolina.
Okay.
But until then, we're working on ourselves because we are so inexperienced at a couple positions, and then the quarterback room.
Yeah.
We've got to give them every opportunity to figure out who's going to be the guy that's going to pull the trigger and walk out there for the first snap. And so, other than that, it's all day, every day. It's 7 days a week. We give them a day off, but they still got to come in and do treatments, workouts, walkthroughs, meetings. We take them to church. We have chapel the next Sunday at our place, volunteer chapel if they want to go to chapel. Andy Owens, our FCA director, will do all that. So we do all that. We feed them, we feed them 3 meals a day and then give them a snack before they go out the door at 9:30 just to make sure they get all their calories. We weigh them before every practice and after every practice to make sure they're not losing too much weight and monitor all the things that we got to monitor. And so it's a 3 o'clock practice down at Presnell Field right in the heat for about 10 days, and then we'll flip it. I've never done this, so I'm hoping that they'll see that. They're all worried about 3 weeks of camp, and coach going to kill us, and all this, and and I'm like,
separate the meat from the boys.
Guys, I've got a plan, so we're going to flip it, and we'll go in the morning and then walk through at night, and so which will be cooler for them, and start giving them a little more fresh time, and then we'll go from there. So, excited about – I really am. I'm excited about this team and the challenges we have in front of us, but also – I told our coaches today, hey, we got a chance to you got a big ball of clay here, and we get to mold it, okay? And it's not like you got a veteran team coming back that you can, like when Parker was here, hey, Parker, just go run the offense.
Do your thing.
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, Peyton Collins at left tackle, just block him, Peyton.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And Matt Jackson out there, hey, Matt, go make a sack or pick or whatever. We got a bunch of unknowns. That I think will become knowns. And I think we do have a bunch of hungry dogs, and, they like to run. And so we'll see if they'll see how they want to run, as we push through this. And, it's their willpower that'll take us, and they'll have to have that.
Real quick. You do have a new coach. So talk to us about that, the new inside linebacker coach. Because you haven't been on the show since you hired him.
Yep. Worked with Frank when I was at UK.
Yeah.
And Frank's been the secondary coach for Stoops at UK the last 6 or 7 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since I've been gone. I guess it's 6 years since I've been gone. I was going to bring him on our original staff. And me and Stoops were flying to Bowling Green, and I told him, and he's like, "Nope, you're not. I'm gonna, move him to safeties coach." I said, "Well, I'm gonna give him the DB room." He goes, "I'm gonna pay him a little more than you are." And I said, "Yeah, I know." And so it was funny, and so Frank, became the secondary coach there, and then. Has done a great job and got a great family, and so, when our D-line coach left, I had a spot come available. Well, Jake Johnson's been a D-line coach his whole career, except for the 6 years he's here.
Yeah.
He's been an inside linebacker coach the 6 years he's here. Maybe the 2 years at Murray, I can't remember. But, he's coached a lot of great defensive linemen. I mean, Noah Spence, and the list goes on. I mean, the guy, he was just up here. He's coaching at Corbin, and it just slips my mind. Won OVC Player of the Year back in the early 2000s.
You've had some good ones. I mean, I'm trying to think of what have come through.
Oh, gosh. I apologize if you're watching, but because he knows who he is. I talked to him. And so Jake's coached a lot of really good D linemen. So Ryan Jackson is his GA, so Ryan knows.
Yeah, he's got married over the weekend.
Yeah, he got
too.
married over the weekend. Ryan
that.
knows what he's doing. So when Jake needs to walk around, go to Skelly, he can leave and
trust Ryan.
And then also we can let Rashad Watson and Frank Buffano and Mike Dietzel take care of 7-on-7 while Jake stays down at one-on-one pass. So Frank's a very, very knowledgeable guy. He's coached at Youngstown State. He's coached at Arizona. He's coached at some other places. And so just a good person, got a ton of energy. Was special teams coordinator for a little bit at Kentucky, so he can help Coach Day there and help us get better on special teams, which we're going to have to be. And so there's a lot of things that Frank brought to the table. And so when I thought about him, I called him up. I figured he'd have a job somewhere else, and he'd just interviewed somewhere and it didn't work out, and he was like, "Hey man, I just want to coach." And I was like, "Well, come on down." And so he came on down, and he helped us out a little bit during spring, and then we could hire him full time in July.
Okay.
And so we went full time with him in maybe June. June or July, I can't remember which one. I think it was July, and so we went full time with us in July.
Good deal. Well, listen, 33 days away.
Yeah.
From the kickoff of the season. I mean,
August 29th.
Yeah, I'm not very good at math, but I'm pretty sure it's 33
Carolina.
days.
47 days before the first home opener.
Okay, look at that, 47 days to the home opener.
Yes.
So,
and that'll be Chattanooga, which will be a great game.
Yeah.
That'll be a great game.
And it's a maroon out.
That's right.
get your
Everybody
tickets
get your-
now, right
Well,
now.
I was just saw Ray, and Ray told me that last year was the highest season tickets that is recorded. Now, I'm sure maybe back in the day there was more of 1,300 season tickets. We're on the drive for 5 right now. It's 5,000, so they really knocked it out of the park trying to go after that. But if we had the most last year, why can't we have
More this year?
that this year?
And the ticket office has moved.
Ticket office has moved
Right.
over to the Fine Arts Center.
Okay.
So all you got to do is go into the little roundabout right there, park your car, go in, take a left. There's signs that'll show you. And Ray White's sitting in there, and And
probably napping, but he'll be in there ready for
Ray
you.
Ray ain't napping. Ray's working, man. You're sleeping on Ray.
I know Ray's a hustler.
Ray is a hustler, and you know his mom's was in a really, really tough accident. So you know, shout out to her. I know she may watch or may get shown, but we're with you, and we hope you're feeling better. But has been a while, and it's going to be a long process for her. But she's doing better. So Ray's back and doing some good things for us.
Good deal.
Tickets starting at $69, so you can get them online.
There you go, folks. Get your tickets. Get ready. 33 days away from the first game, and you said 44. What did you say?
47.
47.
14 days,
Yeah,
33.
Yeah, so 47.
I did that math real quick.
Yeah, I'm not very good
Well,
at
I get it. I'm a Belmont grad, and I mean, you know,
well,
finance degree right here.
But math was never my strong suit.
Only got kicked out of Austin Peay twice, so here we go.
Well, they're on the schedule. We'll get them back again this year.
I try to every year. I go there.
All right, guys. We got more football talk on the way. When we come back, we'll hear from 3 Madison Central guys that will be playing some college football as well. They'll be coming your way next here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
You know what they say. Every great season starts with a strong lineup. Need agility? The Trailblazer cuts through traffic like a wide receiver in the red zone. Power? The Silverado handles work and tailgates like a linebacker on a mission. And if you're ready to go electric, the Equinox EV has the range to go all the way. No matter your game plan, Jack Burford Chevrolet has the vehicle that suits your drive. Stop in, suit up, and let's kick off your next adventure.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Co-Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills. When you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Welcome back into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins, Samantha Burford, Garrett Stearns, now joined by some familiar faces for a lot of you folks. Got to see them on the football field the last few years on WBON. We've got Camden Burke, Christian Lawson, and Moose. Listen, I've said McElwee. Give us what's the right way to say your last name?
McElwee.
Okay. So I said it right most of the time.
He just yells out Moose.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was easy to do last year, the last 3 or 4 years.
You know what? No, we don't get to see their faces.
I know,
They've got helmets on.
Yeah.
So,
and we got to interview you guys after you kind of made your decision, and obviously starting here with Moose. So you guys to report next week. Talk about what you guys have been doing, starting with you the last few weeks, month or two. What have you been doing to keep yourself ready for when that time comes next week?
Recently, like these past few months, just like since we've been out of high school, I've just been in the gym a lot and just focused on the eating. That's the main thing, because playing linebacker, being undersized, definitely not a good thing. Yeah. So I want to come in at a good starting point at least before I get there. Have you gained a lot of
muscle weight or anything over the last couple of months?
When we got out of high school, I was probably around 186, 187 pounds, and right now, currently, I'm at 201. So I've put on a little bit of weight. I'm trying to get to 205 before we get there, because that's what Coach Gage, the linebacker coach, wanted me at. And then,
what have you been eating a lot of?
Chicken and rice, protein shakes.
Yeah, there you go.
for you guys trying to put on weight, you need to look.
I'm trying to lose it, but I can't. I'm not having any luck with it.
Mass gainer, it'll get you right. 2 of those a day, you got it. You gain all that weight.
Yeah, so we won't be eating.
No, we're staying away from that. Chicken and rice. I'm starving. I'm so hungry right now.
Dinner time.
But for you, so next week, what is the plan? Do y'all know kind of what? Because I was just talking to EKU. They'll be doing the same thing next week. Mm-hmm. What's it been like, or do they have they given you an idea of what you guys will be doing when you first come back on campus?
Yeah. So when we get there, we're gonna move in everything, and then there's a little bit of stuff in between that. But later that night, we have our first practice, and it's at like 9:30 p.m. So we do that, and then we'll be starting fall camp, and fall camp will be about 2 weeks long. I'm not for sure on that, but that'll be every day, practice twice a day. We're supposed to be in bed by 11 o'clock every night.
Okay.
We're up the next morning eating breakfast at 7:30.
Okay. So they've already got your schedule and everything lined up for you. Well, that's good. Come to know ahead of time what you got to do.
Yeah, I like that. Nice and organized.
Yeah. So I know when you guys made that decision that obviously you got to take a lot of stuff into account. Being close to home, though, was that something that was big for you? Knowing that, mom, dad, then they come to everything. Yeah, but that's going to be big for them to be able to come watch you play.
Yeah, that. And it was also just like the atmosphere and the location. Like a lot of these other schools I would go to, they'd be in the middle of nowhere. And just like, I love football. Don't get me wrong. But, football's a lot for me. But, like, when you go out there, that's all you got.
Yeah.
And, it's just like,
you got to have something to do every now and then.
You got family, you got people you need to be around. So, Georgetown's about 45, 50 minutes from my house. So, it's not far at all. So, in case I ever need to come home for any reason, I'm right there. And it's right beside Lexington as well. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
Georgetown's one of the most growing counties. So.
Yeah, and if you needed to meet mom and dad in Lexington, it's right there between both of you.
Right.
So
that
it's
way
a good
they
little
can
stopping
take you
point.
to dinner.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Let me know if I have to get in on that. The food just sounds good to me right now.
Just calling.
You eat food,
come
man.
with your mom and dad.
Yeah. But, so it's an exciting time, Samantha. Any time, and we love the fact that we get to continue watching these guys do their thing.
careers. Yeah. And you guys, I was asking you a minute ago, Nathan is on the team.
Noble,
so I'm sure, would he recruiting you guys and you're going to love it here.
Well,
you're going to love it.
Yeah. We didn't really recruit us, but we maybe wingman a little bit, but I've definitely talked to him a lot, asked him a good amount of questions before deciding to go there.
Yeah,
so.
He can give you the play-by-plays and the lowdown.
Yeah.
And he'll be able to tell you guys, okay, you want to eat here, you want to go there.
Yeah, that's right.
There's always those local places that are fun, too.
For sure. Local places, absolutely.
Well, Moose, you guys kind of built your own legacy and careers in a way at Central. What was it like stepping into that senior kind of leadership role last year? And have you talked to any of the seniors this year? Because you got new players, you're going to have to step up into that role that you guys are leaving, of course.
Right. Yeah, I've talked to a few guys just about how the off season's going and whatnot. But it just, it was a lot. Like you got all these younger guys coming up and being a senior, fourth year. You've been through it all. A lot of us have played since our sophomore year. So it's like we've been through it. We know what we got to do. We got to get everything taken care of, and it's just you got these young guys under you. They're all learning. That's how it works. We're gonna go to Georgetown. We're gonna be freshmen. We're gonna have to learn everything. We're gonna have to learn a whole new playbook. We're
gonna go work your way back up the totem.
Yeah, I was go from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
So it's just
starting over.
It's just you gotta as a senior, you gotta help these guys under you. You'll know a lot more than them, or at least you should.
Yeah.
If you don't, then not in a very good spot.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys were just sitting here beside Coach Wells, hearing him talk about how different it is between high school and college.
Oh,
so everybody in your position is starting out new. Are you nervous? Do you get anxiety? Are you this is a new playbook?
A little bit, yeah, but that's with going to college though. It's a whole different surrounding. It's different than your our day-to-day life right now, completely different. But it's just something to get used to, Yeah.
Let's pass the mic over to Christian. Christian, I know whenever we talked back, when school had ended, we first brought you guys in, that, expectations are a little bit different when you go from being the guy who caught the passes to now having a different role on the team. What's it been like for you as you get ready to prepare for this thing next week?
Really, I've just been trying to gain as much weight as I possibly can. That was one of the biggest things the coaches told me. So I'm just
and you said that when we first talked to you too.
Yes,
so,
sir. So
how much weight have you gained?
10 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting at like 215 right now. I think they said 220 by the time I get on campus, and they'll put weight on me when I get there. But really, just trying to get mentally prepared for it because I know fall camp is going to be a lot. I'm trying to get conditioned as well, and I hit the field about every day.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get prepared as much as I can before we get into fall camp.
When you say prepared, what are you doing? Like, are you running?
Workouts
Are you working out? Strength
I'm
training?
Little bit of everything.
All of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, for you guys, the way that your career shaped, because there were a couple of years where it was rough playing for Central, but the last 2 years, you all really turned things around. So when you look back on your time playing for Madison Central, what is it that you take away, and maybe what you want your team's legacy to be? Because there's a lot of you guys going to play college football or doing big things off the field already.
One of the biggest takeaways from Central football for me is you can't give up when things don't go your way. You know, a lot of games there would be times that, especially in our offense, you know, I wouldn't get the ball. I would be a little upset with myself or maybe even the coaches or the offense, and I couldn't let it affect how I played. And I'm just glad that I didn't, and I got the opportunity to play in college now.
Was there anything laid upon you as far as expectations-wise, like what your role might be coming in this first year? I know it's hard for any freshman to touch the field. So did they give you an idea of what your role might be when you first come in there?
Yes, sir. I didn't get to show it as much as I could have at Central, but I'm a very good route runner. I can catch the ball pretty well, too. So they kind of want me to just gain weight, and that's their biggest concern with me is gaining weight and getting stronger. And they said the chip should fall online.
Well, Christian, I was going to ask you, just talk about what it's like to go to the next level with two guys that you played with high school. You know, like that's like how often.
And Raymond with one on.
I know. You mentioned
it's definitely nice. The chemistry, you know, is going to be good being on the field with them again, being able to lift each other up, and having like a support system around because we all went together, and then meeting Nate there too. That's gonna help a lot. Being with one of the guys that I played with previously.
Yeah. Same position, right?
Yeah,
is he tied in there too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I think, you know, watching you guys grow and not only get better on the field, but become mature and things like that, that's all part of that process. What is maybe the biggest takeaway that you take from playing at Madison Central to what you're going to be doing at Georgetown?
Really just go at it as hard as you can.
Okay, yeah.
And don't give up. I mean, everything happens for a reason. Things are gonna happen. You're gonna go through adversity on the field, and you just gotta get through it.
Okay.
See, I'm wondering about the numbers because, you know, in high school you've got some of the, you know, maybe, you know, as you were a senior, you got some juniors and sophomores and
number of players
ready to step into your shoes. You know, if you have an accident.
Well, the portal's a thing. I mean, at that level,
that's exactly
too.
what I'm
Portal's
wondering. Now with the portal,
like
you wonder if your position, you know, you might get on the field as a freshman, and it could change. You just don't know.
Well, I know NAIA. I don't know how hard they really hit the portal, but I don't think Georgetown did too much this offseason. I know they didn't have any tight ends come in. I can't say the rest about any other positions.
Right.
But transfer portal has definitely played a role. There's definitely offers getting taken away from guys at the younger stages, like through high school, because they're picking up guys in the portal, and it's kind of screwing these younger guys over.
That's been the case for a while now, ever since this portal. And I still think, I mean, it's not a perfect science. There's still others.
Not yet.
Not only do these kids not know, but I mean, the coaches don't even know. I mean, even like Coach Wells talked about it, the portal changes, it seems like every year. So it's something that's got to be navigated.
You got 18-year-olds competing with seniors in college. I mean, 20, 21, 22-year-olds. I mean, it's just development, you know.
Exactly, and that's a big part of it. Let's pass the mic over to Camden.
I'm anxious to see, are they telling you to gain weight too?
No, I gained about 20 pounds after the off season, so I'm sitting about 320 right now, which is where I want to sit at in college because
that's where they want you.
Yeah, and I'm a shorter offensive lineman, so if I don't have the height, I want to be able to win with my weight and my arm span. So.
Yeah.
You know, for you, when you look at what you did, because the offensive line, for as long as I can remember, that has been, I feel like, the calling card for the Madison Central program, dating back to 15, 20 years ago, if not further back than that. There's been a lot of good guys come through Madison Central, Malachi Wood, Aiden Howard, just names like that, those offensive linemen that have done so many big things. And just this past, I think last weekend, the guys won the 7-on-7 offensive line competition. So,
and I think they've won that before.
Yeah, second year in a row.
Yeah.
So for you being a part of that, when you look back at some of the guys that are coming up behind you, how does that make you feel knowing that you were a part of something that's been a lineage for a long time now?
It makes me feel good about it, definitely, because, I mean, you look at Malachi Wood, like you said, and Aiden Howard and all those guys, they've left a big impact on the offensive line, and that's something like where I wanted to fill the shoes at is playing offensive line, because that's a big position in college football and high school football, and like that's whenever college coaches would come in, that's what they would mainly look at as offensive line, because you had Malachi Wood and Aiden Howard. But it definitely was a big shoe to fill, especially my freshman year. Whenever I played D-line, I'll never forget getting pulled up to varsity in the playoffs and having to go against Malachi and Aiden, and I was like, well, maybe I need to go play offensive line and learn from these guys.
It worked out for you.
Yeah,
it worked out for you.
It did.
I got under Aiden Howard's wing and played with him for a year, and he was an awesome teacher, and just take me under his wing and teach me all the right ways to do things and recruiting and all that thing.
He's at Thomas Nelson now or something like
He's
that?
He's at Lindenwood.
Lindenwood.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lindenwood.
that's right.
Well, you know, Michael, everybody talks about Madison Central's great running attack year in and year out, but you can't have that without a great
offensive
line.
line. We've seen so many good running backs come through there. I mean, and look at what, and the tight ends. Well, that's one thing that
tight ends block too.
Yeah. I mean, the wide receivers, those guys do. I mean, Moose was the guy that ran behind them for a couple of years before transitioning all the way over to fully on defense. For you, Camden, what is maybe the biggest thing that the coaches were needing from you before you made your trip down there this week?
The biggest thing they wanted me to work on is just moving. I could move really good, but they just wanted me to work on my pass pro and things like that, because we didn't pass the ball much at Central. So whenever I went on my official visit in December, Coach Dam, our offensive line coach, was like, I'm not really worried about your run game attack, because I know how you can do run blocking wise. He said, but pass pro is your biggest thing right now, because we're more of a RPO style offense, and we're trying to get the ball up and just get the defense on their toes. So that was the biggest thing they told me to work on, is just pass pro and get down with that.
So to me, that means more agility.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's just working on footwork, really, because if you can get the motion, get the motion down for pass pro, it's pretty hard, but once you get the footwork down, it's pretty easy. So,
do you have a favorite moment when you look back on your time at Central?
Probably either when we came back and beat Lex Cath my junior year. That was my first game back. I was out for the Johnson Central game that year. I was in a car accident, so I got to play the next week.
Is that the week where it was like a 4-hour rain delay?
Yeah, it was
before?
a 4-hour storm delay. We didn't get to kick off till 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
We remember.
But that was probably one of my favorite games. The Scott County game this past year, first time in 26 years we beat Scott County. I had some pretty big plays on that game, and coming out of the half with Quincy's big touchdown, that was a really fun time.
Is there one play that sticks out to you the most? We'll ask all you guys that. I can pick out a bunch of plays. Christian's touchdown, who was it against? I think it might have been Southern, in the back of the end zone when you kind of cut over the guy. And Moose.
I'll never forget that one. I'll talk about another one after this, but whenever he caught that one, and I remember you guys saying on the sports radio, because my dad was listening to it, whenever Carson was rolling out, and I thought he was already out of the pocket, and they threw it over to Christian, and I stopped, and there was a defensive lineman running at
Carson.
But big play I remember was when we played Trinity. We scored on that first play. That was a really big play. And when we scored that touchdown, I was like, we really do have a shot at this.
The confidence.
It was a real confidence booster. I remember getting over on the sideline talking to the offensive lineman, and I was like, dude, this is
we're going to be good this year.
It was awesome. So,
Pastor Chris, is there one play that you'll just never forget? One moment.
My first touchdown, probably
the
one against Johnson Central in the corner of the end zone. It was a really close game.
That one was back and forth. It took forever for you guys to get on the board, but when you did, it was a big one.
That was probably my favorite moment. Or it was first playoff game. The game that me and Davion, we both had 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
That was a pretty cool night for both of us. and he's one of my boys since like 6th grade. So
okay.
I'm trying to think of who that game was against. Was that Bryan Station?
No, the first one was against Tate's Creek. Dunbar. Tate's Creek was last year.
Dunbar and then GRC.
Yeah.
Moose, you got one. To me, the one for you is the one that was called back. That was an 82-yard touchdown where you scoop and score, and they called it back.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little block in the back on that.
Yeah. But that could be called every time. Of course, you got to pick it out whenever it was
They
you.
picked on you.
I don't really have a favorite play. I mean, I had a pick 6 against Bryan Station. That was pretty good.
You scored 2 touchdowns this past year. Or was it 3? They had one that was called back, but there was
3.
You had the defensive one, the one where you dove on it in the end zone.
Was there one against Douglas?
Yeah, and then there was
the pick 6 against Douglas. Yeah,
that was a good one.
I think I had like 4 touchdowns or something. And then I think I had a 5th one and it was called back, which was that one you're talking about. But no, it was really one of my biggest things was Scott County against Timmy Monga because he had like offers from UK and all that. And
was he the tight end or the wing?
No, he was number 9. He was running back.
Oh, okay.
He's offered like UK, EKU. I think he's the class under us, but. Everybody was always talking about how good he was before the game, and then our defense went out there and we
the only time they did anything when they threw it to the tight end against for Scott County. Yeah. So.
And that one felt good too because the year before you all were undefeated and y'all went up there and got whooped up pretty good, and then to return the favor this past year, that was a fun one.
Revenge.
Hey, revenge is always served sweet. You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, guys, listen. Good luck next week. We appreciate it. We'll play our final commercial break. Wrap things up when we come back here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sport.
You know what they say. Every great season starts with a strong lineup. Need agility? The Trailblazer cuts through traffic like a wide receiver in the red zone. Power? The Silverado handles work and tailgates like a linebacker on a mission. And if you're ready to go electric, the Equinox EV has the range to go all the way. No matter your game plan, Jack Burford Chevrolet has the vehicle that suits your drive. Stop in, suit up, and let's kick off your next adventure.
We would like to invite you to join our family at Bishop's Small Engine Repair.
Outdoor Power has become a family tradition, with 3 generations here bringing you years of experience.
We will help you find the best selection of outdoor power equipment from Cub Cadet, Grasshopper, DeWalt, Makita, Echo, Shindawa, and now Steel in our Georgetown store.
Or bring your equipment into our service department. We will keep it running for years to come.
And as with all families, we have to keep Mama happy. So come on in and see us at Bishop's Small Engine Repair in Richmond and in Georgetown.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best fajitas in town. Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Here to wrap things up on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. You know, we officially flipped the calendar to August. And to me, I mean, we've been saying it all summer, but the summer's just gone at the blink of an eye. Football season for Central, we're 3 weeks away,
for
EKU, we're 4 weeks away. It's Labor Day weekend.
Kind of crazy, isn't
it?
I
know. It goes by so fast. We say it every week, but I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I think this summer has really increased the hype for EKU football for us, especially, and I hope it has for you all back at home as well.
That's right.
I think it'll be a lot of fun, and it's an exciting time just to see everybody getting together and getting back out. I mean, school starts in a couple of weeks. I mean, here we are, summer's over, and it's been fun getting to know these guys, but I'm ready for the real thing to happen.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Me too. And I say we show up for the cookout, EKU cookout tomorrow night.
Like Reba.
Yeah, I want to be at the fair. Fair starts tonight, too.
Oh,
that's fair. So a lot going on right now.
It is.
Enjoy the end of your summer, folks. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you next Monday. A lot to get into on next Monday's Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.